Hey everyone. I just realized I did not do an intro video to this channel. Um, my name is Troy, and I'm from the good state of Ohio, and I'm 29 years old. At age 25, just days before my 26th birthday, um, I was admitted to the hospital with shortness of breath, fatigue, tiredness, passing out all the time, and all that good stuff. They really didn't know what was wrong. They suspected kidney failure because my kidney function it didn't come back too great. And I ended up having to start dialysis on May 20th. See, I had all winter up until that spring, I was having symptoms off and on. They just kept getting worse and worse and worse and worse. But that's the year when the swine flu was all crazy and, popular, and that's what I thought it was. And I finally decided to do something about it because it just got so bad where I could hardly stand up, I could hardly walk. One time I was hauling the trash down to the dumpster, and it was humid out anyway, so that didn't help. I could take barely 2 steps until I had to stop. Now, if I do have a whole story for this, which, by the way, is going on the Lifeline of Ohio website, which I'm proud to be a volunteer ambassador of that great organization. And basically, what it does is it's a great inspiring story, I think. And the editor, mine was really long, but the editor wrote a better version than I did. So if you would like me to share that story with you before it gets put on the website, just inbox me or something and let me know. Also, you can check out my Facebook at facebook.com/renalkid. That's all one word. And just add me there and, learn about my journey that way if you'd like. I ask you to, because I've had people in the past complain that I post too much medical stuff on my Facebook. But you know what? It's my Facebook, so they can deal with it. Or there's the block button, there's the unsubscribe button, Anyways, May 23rd of 2009, I turned 26, and unfortunately I had to spend that in the hospital, which it wasn't a bad birthday, really, because I was at St. Anne's Hospital here in Columbus, Ohio, where I live, and it was great. The nurses were great here, and I also can't forget the nurses at OSU where I had my transplant, and the doctors. Dr. Pelletier is a wonderful surgeon, and he just deserves some good praise there. I was on dialysis for 3.5 years. 2.5 of those were on the active status on the waiting list, and December 8th, I got the call, and December 9th, that morning, the kidney was put in my body. And when I woke up after the surgery, I can immediately tell a difference. It was awesome, and I ended up working, believe it or not, up until the day of my transplant. It was a struggle, but I did it. I still have my dialysis graft. A lot of people have a fistula, but I have a graft because they couldn't get a fistula in me. In fact, I'll show it to you. Hopefully the camera can pick that up. I don't know, since I'm not sighted. I don't know what the focus is, but let's see. There it is. It probably doesn't look all that pretty, but it goes clear up my arm. And I know it probably looks all beat up, but the reason it looks so beat up is because I don't know if Metaports are the same way. I don't know anything about Metaports, but you are not supposed to stick a dialysis access in the same spot over and over and over, because what it'll do is it'll cause a hematoma, and hematomas in dialysis accesses are called pseudoaneurysms. And if they get big enough, they'll explode. In fact, I have one right down here, down at the bottom, closer to the bottom, that they ended up having to tie off because it got so big they had to cut the blood flow off to it. And there's one in the middle, but it's not in any danger, so it's still in good shape. But it's still 2 months post-transplant, not usable. Not being used. It still has a great thrill in it, and I've had a lot of work done on it. It's my second graft. My first one clotted off and they could never get it up and running again. My second one has had many clots in it too, and it basically has lasted 2 years, and like I said, it's still going. I'm not sure on Metaports, but on a fistula or a graft, when you know if it's clotted off or not, because when you touch it, the thrill, it feels like a cat purring. And basically what that does is you can put a stethoscope on it too, and it sounds like ocean waves. Basically what that does is that shows that there is blood flowing through that fistula. And what will happen is every once in a while they will clot off, and they go in and do a fistulogram or a roto-rooter, which basically that's what it's called because that's what they do. They roto-rooter the clots out. And I've had several stenoses fixed in it, which stenosis is when you have the narrowing going on, and that makes it hard to stick, and that will also slow down, worsen your clearances from the dialysis machine because the pressures get too high and you just don't clear very well. And it's also important to get good techs, because if you get a tech that has to stick you constantly, they can't get it the first couple tries, request another one. You have a right as a patient to request your own tech, because there's some techs out there that, especially my dialysis access, it is finicky, and only certain people know how to stick it. And just let them know, hey, I don't want this tech sticking me, because they can't do it. And I've had 4 permacasts put in. Those are basically like PICC lines, except they go in your chest, and they have 2 ports on them, and there's a dressing that goes over top of them. I've actually had only one of those 4 got infected and had to be removed because it gave me a staph infection, and so that's what happened with that. And let's see, I would show you my transplant scar, but I have to kind of pull down my pants to do that, and since I don't have sighted help around, I don't want to take a picture of something that you guys shouldn't be seeing. So, yep, let's see here. Yeah, so that's just basically me. I work full time at Chase Bank as a collector, which is a stressful job, but hey, it's a job. And I mean, I don't hate it. I'm just thankful I have a job. I don't complain about it. And yeah, that's that. So, if you have any questions about kidney failure, I'm always happy to answer them for you. And if you're thinking about getting a kidney transplant, I can answer those questions too. Alright, so you can check me out on Facebook, Reno Kid. I'm also on Twitter at Reno Kid. And yeah, that's about it. I do get my blood drawn twice a week. This will eventually stop, or to go down to once a week, once a month, so on and so forth. For those of you that are familiar with kidney function tests, my hemoglobin is at 11. I like that because when I was first diagnosed with kidney failure, it was at a 5. And basically my brain wasn't getting any oxygen at all. And hardly any denying, and my blood pressure was so low. It was in the 80s. And the top number. And my creatinine now, it is... Sometimes it goes up and down. It's been, a lot of times it hovers around 140, but recently, starting this month, it has dropped around, or I shouldn't say 140, 1.4 basically, and now it has dropped to around 1.3. And it goes down to 1.2 sometimes. It just basically, depending on, because your creatinine, especially in transplants, they can go up and down. And yeah, again, if you have any questions, please contact me, and I'll be happy to answer them. And yeah, I wish everyone a great evening, and God bless y'all.
Speech off.